Hello, my name is Alexandra Villamizar. I'm the Assistant Director of Curriculum Development and Training at LCMC. And this video will be focused on how to use Burlington English software to supplement Ventures curriculum. We have previously created a video where we talk about how to download Burlington English, what Burlington English is, how to access all of the different programs that Burlington English offers, and how to use all of those resources that come in the program, how to access the teacher's zone and everything that it is part of Burlington. So I am assuming that you are familiar with Burlington English or that you have watched this video to learn about it, because I will be referring to those sections, and I will use those names that are assigned by Burlington English. So to start with this video, let me access the software. So as you know, at the beginning of each session, you will receive your login information that your students will also receive. So I'm going to log in into my account. And then here, as I mentioned in the previous video about Burlington, we have different programs here in the software. So English in America, which is the curriculum that is focused on civics, everyday English. So this is the one that I'm going to be using today for this video. And this is the one that I have studied, and I have checked each of these units to see how they correlate with our Ventures curriculum. So for Everyday English 1, we are talking about it works, or it matches Ventures 1, which is a high beginning level. Everyday English 2, it is the one that aligns to Ventures 2, which is low intermediate. Then Everyday English 3 would be high intermediate, which is Ventures 3, and Advanced English will be Ventures 4, which is our advanced level as well. So I'm going to use Everyday English 2 and Advanced English to show you how you can use Burlington to support Ventures. So let's go back to Ventures, and then I will show you what lessons I am going to use. So for Ventures 2, which is the low intermediate level, I'm going to say that in my class, I have been working in Unit 8, and Unit 8, the topic is work. So in this unit, I have Lesson B, and Lesson B, the title is Where Did You Go Last Night? In this lesson, our focus is a grammar focus, and it is what and where questions and simple past. So after my students complete this lesson, I expect them to know how to use regular verbs, some regular verbs and some irregular verbs in simple past. So I have presented this lesson to my students, and I have made sure that they know these verbs in simple past, that they know how it works, how you create the question in simple past, and how the verb then changes to the form in simple past to offer the answer. So after I have provided enough opportunities to my students to practice, like asking them to work with a classmate, with a pair, or like in small groups, I will tell them to complete the questions and the sentences. After they have done that, I will ask them to get up and move around the classroom asking each other these questions, so they have several opportunities to practice pronunciation, to make sure the verb it is correct, and improve their English, of course. So they also have here this other exercise where they have this roster schedule, and then they have this conversation. So I will model this conversation with my students different times. so they will know what they have to do or what I expect them to do. So I will ask and I will start like, where did Rosa go at 8 a.m.? And I would look at the schedule here. So at 8 a.m., Rosa went to the coffee shop. She went to the coffee shop. What did she do there? She ate breakfast. So I am going to show my students that I am expecting them to use the verb in each of these activities, change the verb to the simple past. So I will model this exercise several times, okay? And after I know that they understand what they have to do, then I will ask my students once again to get up and to walk around the room and practice with different students. How many students do they have to talk to? As many as possible. We know that students are very shy. They are afraid to make mistakes. So we have to provide them with those opportunities for them to practice and to stop being afraid. This will increase their confidence in English, and then, of course, it will help them a lot with their language skills. So Ventures is a great resource, and it's a great curriculum, and it offers all of these activities that you can use all the time to ask students to participate and to talk to everyone, not just with the person next to them, but with everyone in the classroom. This is why I consider it is crucial to ask them to get up and move around and talk to everyone in the classroom. So again, you have used this lesson in your class, but then you know that, or you feel that your students need more practice with verbs in simple past. So I am going to use now Burlington to support this lesson plan, which is simple past. So I'm going to go back to Burlington, and then I'm going to click here on Everyday English 2, which is the curriculum that correlates or matches Ventures 2 low intermediate level. So I will log in Everyday English 2. Okay. On the previous video, we have talked about these different tabs that we have here. So how to is going to show me or is going to direct me to the link when I talk about that specific function that I want my students to practice, okay? But you also have the grammar tab where you can find the link, or it will direct you to the exercises, and you can find them through the grammar point that you have worked with your students. So you have simple past here, okay? So I know after reviewing all the modules here before going to class, of course, I know that module 4 is going to offer me that those lessons that are going to match what I taught my students in Unit 8 in Ventures. So I'm going to go to so past experiences, number 4, everyday English number 2, and I will go to the first situation, which is Son's first job. And like you can see, like Unit 8 in Ventures is about work, and here Burlington also offers exercises about past experiences, focus on jobs, so on work. So it is very good. So I'm going to go to the listening and speak exercise, and here my students will practice, as you can see, verbs in simple past. So if I play the audio.
Son's first job. My first job as a vet technician was in a zoo.
So students can listen to this conversation, so they will listen to the pronunciation, okay? Then you have this tab with words, and here is all the vocabulary that it is included in this lesson. So students can listen to the pronunciation,
Bat.
but they can also record their voice. So they can hear how they are pronouncing, and then they know how they're doing. So it is very good for them to do this. It is very important that to record your voice is you need a headset. If you only use the microphone from your computer, the software will not recognize your voice. So it will tell you all the time that there is an error, and then you will not be able to hear your voice. So it is good that, or it is necessary to have the headset. So again, I kind of have, like previously, before using this in the class, I can ask my student to, the class before, I can give my students some of these vocabulary words, and then I will ask them to find what they mean. So when I use this in the class, my students are already familiar with the vocabulary. That is an option. Then I go here to the dialogue, where once again, my students will have the opportunity to listen.
You're a vet technician. That sounds interesting.
Yes, it is. I love my job.
What's the best thing about it?
Saving the lives of sick animals.
So it is not just about the work, but here you can see verbs in simple past, because remember that the focus of my lesson from Ventures, it is verbs in simple past. So I have worked, I have saved, helped, moved. So all these verbs that my students are going to practice, and they will listen to that pronunciation. Here, for this role play, students can choose the role of one of these two people, and by selecting one of them, then they are going to be able to record their voice reading what their part is, and then they can listen to themselves for their pronunciation. Here then you have another dialogue, and it is once again the same. They will listen to the pronunciation. You have verbs in simple past. Here, that is our focus for the lesson. And once again, they can select the role that they want to play. And the last exercise in this activity, it is students will listen.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is...
And based on what they listen, they are going to answer these, or they will complete these sentences. Again, you have the verbs in simple past, lived, moved, and then they will select the correct answer. Okay. And by selecting, then, like, I'm just going to choose one of these to show you that by clicking here, Burlington will tell you which ones are correct and which ones are not, and then you can reset and do it again. Okay. So here you have the exercise that you can ask your students to use in class, or if you don't have the time during class to have your students practice in Burlington, then please assign these exercises for your students to work at home. Here you have read and write, which is the other part of the activity. And here students will complete simple past, past simple of regular verbs. So they will type the correct verb in simple past. So once again, now here they are typing, so they know how they have to spell this verb. So let's say that I'm going to do it like this. So I will show you that it will correct me. If I click here, it will tell me that it is wrong. So I can reset, and then I can start over. And then here it tells me the grammar rules. So if I am confused about how to spell, I can click there, and then Burlington will give me that information about grammar or the rule. So here it goes into different sections. You have two parts here. Okay, you can always print this information. So you have this exercise, then you have a grammar 2 exercise. Once again, in this case, it's going to be past simple, but in negative form. So your students will complete the exercise. Again, the focus is past simple. And here, based on the
Beautifully.
vocabulary,
She sings beautifully.
on the
Beautifully.
vocabulary that they initially practiced, then they can listen to the word and then they will spell the word. Okay, if I don't know which one it is, I'm confused, I can ask for a hint and it will tell me the letter. And the last exercise in this activity, it is a reading exercise. So you have the text, okay,
Ricardo was born.
that you can listen to, or students can listen to, and based on this information that they are reading, students will complete these sentences, okay? So you see that you have many opportunities for your students to practice using Burlington English. It is not like they don't have those chances to do it, but we have to show them how to do it, because if we as teachers don't provide them with those opportunities for them to practice, it is difficult for them, or they don't know how to do it or how to find them. So now that LCMC offers this great resource, let's make sure that we are using it, because it really works, and students like it. They enjoy this software. I know it because I use it with my students, and they like it a lot. So this is the part from the software, but if I'm going to now, so this, like I said before during my previous video, you can use the software during class time, okay? Or you can assign these activities to use for your students to use at home, okay? But also, I can have my students practicing Burlington, but I am going to give them a lesson plan, or I'm going to use the lesson plan. So here, as you know, when you go into Burlington English website, www.burlingtonenglish.com, you can access the teacher zone. So by clicking here, I already have my login information. So I'm going to log in. And here under teacher zone, then I'm going to click teachers materials, and then general English courses. So remember that I use Everyday English 2. So I'm going to click here, Everyday English 2. And remember that I found those activities in Module 4, which it was son's first job. So again, Module 4, Situation 1, son's first job. Here you have a preview of what we did before with the software. So you are seeing exactly the same, but here it is by slides. So you don't, when you are planning your class, you don't have to access the software. You have the information here, so you know what students are going to practice. Okay, but what I want to show you, it is the situations materials, which is the lesson plans for that activity that we use. So once again, it was Module 4, past experiences, Situation 1, son's first job. Here you have different worksheets and that to give to your students to practice. So you have a grammar worksheet, and a speaking worksheet, and a writing worksheet. But for each one of them, you have the lesson plan. So here we have the overview of the lesson. So it tells me what is going to be covered in this lesson. So look, the vocabulary that we practiced before, like I showed you on when we were in the software. Okay, the grammar, it is past simple of regular verbs. Okay, so this is the summary of the lesson. And here I have my teacher's notes or my lesson plan for the grammar exercise. So it tells me how I'm going to present to my students the materials. Of course, because you have used Ventures already, you have explained to your student how or the rules for spelling, so they know how they have to write those verbs in simple past. So here it tells you the lesson plan, and it tells you how to use that grammar activity or grammar worksheet. Remember that by clicking here, you can download and save the worksheet in your computer, or you can click here and you will be able to print it. So this is the grammar activity, the teacher's notes or the lesson plan. And this is the grammar worksheet that you will give to your students during class so then they can practice. So they will read the text, and based on this information, they are going to complete these exercises and the verbs in simple past. So we have them here, okay? Always ask your students to work in groups or with a partner. Never have your students working by themselves, because this is the only time that they really have to practice English. Remember that most of our students do not practice English at home. They don't have that opportunity, or they work in a place where everyone speaks their native language, or they live in an area where their neighbors speak their native language. So this is the opportunity for them to practice English, like all for skills. So make sure you always create opportunities for them to practice. So always ask them to work with a partner or work with groups. So here you have then a speaking exercise. This is the one that you will give to your students, so they will complete. And they have to, like, you have two different stories, and it will be like divided by. So you have to give to two students. And how am I going to use this activity? I will refer to my teacher's notes. So here it tells me that I will print out the worksheet and make a copy for each pair of students in your class. I will cut the paper, okay, write examples. So here you know what you have to do. So all of these activities, you can have them, you can read them before class, like the teacher's notes, and then you can use these worksheets in class. So again, you can use Burlington in 3 different ways. You can have all of these worksheets, and you have a lesson to work in, like during class. So using these 3 different activities, okay? You can also have students using the software, okay? Or you can ask using a software, the software during class time, or you can ask students to access the software at home and practice these exercises. So this is, again, like I mentioned, this is for level 2. Now let's talk about Ventures 4, which is the advanced level. So for the advanced level, I was looking at the different units and grammar points that I have here. And then I found that in Unit 10, they talk about conditionals. So I decided to pick and work on that one. So I will go to Unit 10. And Unit 10, Lesson B, it is the conditionals. So here in this exercise, in this exercise, it is explaining to my students the different conditionals. So it is future real, so which is like first conditional and second conditional. So I have been working on this one. So using the verb in past and using would, which is the second conditional. So again, like I explained before, for Ventures 2, you work with your student on the lesson from Ventures, you presented the materials, you offer students different opportunities for them to practice, not just writing, not just completing these sentences here. What it is extremely important, it is to ask students to work together and talk to a partner or partners, because they need to improve their speaking skills as well. So always offer students the chances to practice with others. So after you have completed this exercise, you know that you want to provide more resources, like they need to practice more. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go back to Burlington software, and I'm going to find which lesson from Burlington is going to help me with this activity, which is conditionals, or the second conditional, just to pick one of these. So the second conditional, from the advanced level. So I will go back to Burlington, but let me go back and find the advanced level. Oops. So I'm going to log in again. Sorry about this. So I log in Burlington again and remember the advanced English. So I will click here. And now let's find the grammar topic by using the tabs here. So remember, I have these options. So they are going to take me directly to that lesson that has the grammar point that I need to work. So I'm going to click on grammar. And I have been working with the conditionals. So here I have first conditional with a will, and each of these ones, this is the link. So by clicking here, I will be taken to the lesson. So I want to practice the second conditional because it's the one that uses the past and would. So let me click second conditional. Here I have the explanation, okay? Again, you are going, what they already know because you already practice with them using venture. So I will have the verb in past and I will use a would. You have here, by clicking here, you can print this information, the grammar rule. So you have these exercises, second conditional, positive and negative. So students will read and then will select the correct answer. If your watch, I would tell you. So if I found your watch, so I will ask my students during class because I have presented the material, they practice all of those exercises. Now we have some time in our class, so why not logging into the software, Burlington software, and practice these exercises. If you don't have enough time during the class, then please assign these to your students as homework, so they log in in Burlington, and then they have that these other exercises to practice and not just only the book. It is important that they have access to technology, and this is why LCMC got all these licenses, so we need to use them. So I'm just going to pick, so to show you that it will tell me if I am correct or if I am wrong. So by clicking here, it's telling me the ones that I did wrong, what I did correct. So by clicking here, I can reset and I can start again. Okay, but this one is positive and negative. So I can go back and I will go now with questions. So again, conditional, second conditional, but now this is in questions form. So I click here, again, it shows me the grammar. So when the students come in here, they will read and they will remember how it works, how they have to create those questions. So again, they will complete the exercises. And I can click if I did it right or wrong, and then I can reset. Okay. So I just shared with you the one exercise from the advanced level. So, and a very easy way to find that those activities that match what you are teaching, just go in here and then you can remember that you can find activities by the function that you are teaching. So you can always click in the how to, okay, and it will tell you and it will give you the link. It will take you to that link, or you can use it by the grammar point that you are teaching. So it is really easy to find those exercises that match what you have taught in ventures, so to provide extra practice. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show on how to use Burlington English to support Ventures curriculum. Remember that you also have here the library to practice, for your students to practice reading and reading comprehension. I mean, like the ways you can use Burlingtons are endless. So please make sure that you use it, you involve Burlington English into your lessons, into your session, and I can assure you that your students will gain so much confidence and you will see very good results in the post-test because you have helped them with what they need, not just completing a book and writing on pages, but all of skills are being covered. Remember that you can always use CASAS here, preparation for CASAS test, which is also extremely necessary. We need to see gains in the post-test, so also use CASAS, the CASAS preparation. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share with you on this video, how to use Burlington to support ventures. I hope it was a little bit helpful. If you have questions about it, please let me know. I can be contacted all the time by email. My email is Alexandra, ALEXANDRA @lcmcmd.org. I will be extremely happy to talk to you or to share with you ideas on how to use Burlington to supplement ventures, but also I can talk to you about ventures curriculum because I am fan number one of both of them. So thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.